can't go knight g6 or knight g3, I mean, because of knight takes e4 and oopsies. I just played one of the biggest team tournaments for chess in the world. It is US Amateur Team East, and in round one, I played against Boston College. So I'm going to go through my entire game, and at the very end, I'm going to turn on the game review, and hopefully we can learn something along the way. Okay, so I played e4, best by test, and he plays the Pirc. And I've had some really great results. Actually, some of the previous videos I made against the Pirc, or one game was actually the modern, which transposed to the Pirc actually. And so I felt very, very confident, and I feel very confident in these positions. So I was very happy to see it. And he plays g6, which is pretty normal, and I played bishop e3, going for f3, queen d2, and castles long. A very, very simple and usually effective attacking setup. But usually these players, the players who play the Pirc, they're looking for a big fight. But if they're not precise, players who are playing the Pirc, you can get swamped. You can get killed really easily in some positions. So he plays bishop g7. I actually think one of the most challenging ways to play is to not move your bishop at all and just go c6. And if white continues with the plan of queen d2 and castles queenside, white has no attack over here because black didn't even castle, and then white already castled and black is already starting their attack. Oh, I'm getting email notifications. That's not good. Okay. And so yeah, I think this is actually a pretty challenging way to play. But instead, my opponent played bishop g7, and we both castle. And he plays this really weird move, rook e8. I would be more expecting c6. And f3 and b5, and we're just flinging. We're both flinging pawns at the same time. But instead, he kind of wastes a move with rook e8. And afterwards, he was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't play that move. Also, side note, this guy from Boston College, very nice guy. Awesome to talk to. Yeah, that's all I have to say. He's a very, very, very awesome dude. I actually like the guy a lot. Anyways, rook e8 is a bad move, though. Because it doesn't, it's opposite side castling, and with f3, I'm suggesting I'm going to throw the kitchen sink at you. And with c6, if you're not throwing the kitchen sink at me, then you waste time. You're wasting time. Let's see. Yeah, but he plays rook e8. And I play f3, and now he plays c6. And so yeah, so he's gonna start his pawn storm, and I've already I'm preparing mine. And I play h4, he plays h5. And I ended up playing knight c e2, which I think it's probably much, much better than moving the other knight. So one way that you can go wrong, and actually we were talking about this after the game, is that one way that white can go wrong is if they rush. If they rush, this could still be good, but it's a bit more unclear. And also, I'm not even sure if black has to take all the time. I don't know if they have to take both pawns, but sometimes it can be good just to throw everything and let's just sacrifice 2 pawns or even 3 pawns or everything like that. But you don't have to rush. You don't have to do that. But honestly, he didn't waste a move with rook e8, so it's very much possible that that g4 is better. I'm actually going to turn on the engine for a second here because I wonder if knight c2 is the best move or g4 is better. G4 is actually the best move. I did not opt for that. I went knight c e2. But yeah, which makes sense because of this wasted move. Makes sense. Bishop h6 is also very good too, which makes sense. Okay, anyways, I'm going to turn off the engine now. But yeah, both of those make sense because they're employing white's plan. Instead, I guess I sort of respect black's ideas and preemptively move my knight to also help support my kingside attack. Although that wasn't necessary. Apparently I didn't need to do that. Apparently I could just throw everything at him immediately, which makes sense. He actually brought up a really interesting idea. Um, how he said that actually instead of playing um h5, he was thinking about playing e6. And he actually said that in online games he's had varied success, and he actually had some success with this type of defense, which is super interesting. And the idea is just like you're gonna let white take, and let's say b5 and takes and something like this. Like you're actually going to no, this move order isn't good enough. You're the point is you're defending on the 7th rank. You're going to, if possible, you're going to play a5 and rook a7 and try to defend like this. Really interesting defensive idea. In this case, I guess it doesn't work because, or it's not as good. Although maybe, yeah, maybe, I mean, he is stopping the attack. So maybe it does work. Especially if white just like does it like this. There's no obvious ways to contain the attack. You have to just develop pieces. So yeah, maybe, so this was an interesting idea that he was talking about. So actually I have to keep in mind e6 as an idea in the future, because that seems like really, really interesting. Because now white has to change the way they're attacking. But instead he plays h5 and I move my knight back. One benefit of moving my knight back is that it controls this a5 square, so he can't move his queen over and attack this pawn. But he does go queen c7. And that was another move where I'm like, okay, my attack's getting there first. I'm playing g4. Like, the time is wasted with queen c7, rook e8. Like, a lot of time. Now you play c5. So you play queen c7 to get out of the pin, so you can play c5 and try to open things up, I guess. Like, if I take, I don't think, like, this is probably still better for me, but now he gets his knight out, he gets his bishop out, he gets his rook in. Like, that's not that good. So I just push d5. And if you don't know this, this is very important for you to know. Closed center favors the attacker. And I'm attacking first. So it favors me a lot. Now he plays queen b6, so I can't go knight g6, or knight g3 I mean, because of knight takes e4, and oopsies, you're losing the game. Your queen's under attack, and your whatchamacallit, checkmate is being threatened. So your queen is attacked, and your checkmate is being threatened. So I can't continue with my plan of opening up the board yet. So I just go c3. c3 instead. And actually, let me promote this variation. Yeah, there you go. And he plays queen a5, attacking this a2 pawn, and I just defend it. I think I thought a while on, I was like, what if I don't defend it? I don't think I thought too much, but it was a thought that went through my head. And then I dismissed this idea, because that was pretty stupid. Why do that to myself? But I did think about it. Well, I went king b1 instead. And he went knight bd7, and I think up to this point we've been moving pretty fast. The time control is 100 minutes for the first 40 moves, and then after the 40th move we get an additional 30 minutes, and it's 5-second delay for the entirety, so these are long games. I think after knight bd7, move 13, yeah, I saw it 82 minutes, so I spent some time. I've definitely spent some time. But I still have a lot of time left, of course. Okay, so I continue with my plan. I rerouted this knight like this, and now I'm having a lot of pressure on the h-pawn, and I'm going to open black's king. That's my idea. He plays b5, and I just take, and he takes, I take, and he takes. I guess he could have taken like this. I'm not sure if that helps him, though, because he's still having issues getting his other pieces in. And actually, if he takes with the pawn, I might just go knight f5, attacking the bishop. And this might be unpleasant for him. Or maybe I just go bishop h6 first, and then knight f5 after. That might also be very good. But, and so, I think it makes sense for him to try to trade off knights and get his other knight in. But this position is definitely already losing. So I'm at bishop h6, trying to trade off bishops, just trying to get to his king, removing a defender, and I'm going to eventually get my rooks into the game and checkmate him. And his queen is so, it's kind of visually amazing to see just how far away his queen is from the defense of the king. Like, it's kind of beautiful, actually. And he's still a few moves away from getting his rooks to defend the king as well. So, in other words, his king's pretty naked. He does play knight e5, though, which was a little bit annoying just because I really wanted to play, to move this knight out and get my rooks in, either by doubling or something like that. But now, if I go knight h3 now, for example, I lose this, and I actually thought about this. Like, what if I just sacrifice the pawn? But if I try to exploit this pin, now bishop g4, and this doesn't look that good. It's probably not that bad, but this is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted at all. Although, it's probably still winning, the more I look at it. Rook g8, second take. Okay, yeah, definitely still winning. Anyways. But so I thought about sacrificing the f3 pawn, but I decided just to play more simple and just play. Actually, thought for 20 minutes on this move. Let me double check. Yeah, I thought for 23 minutes on this move, just because I didn't want to screw anything up, and I was actually sort of seeing ghosts. I was trying to remember what I wanted to do. I think I was scared of a move like c4 and then b4 opening up my king. So I was trying to dot my I's and check my T's, or whatever, however the saying goes. I was trying to do that. But my conclusion was I have enough time for this. And I thought it was a really cool attacking idea that, okay, his knight's here, so I can't move this knight. But honestly, it's probably fine if I move the knight. I think we just saw that was probably still winning. But I said rook h2, a simple improving move, and I can double up rooks in the future. The rook on h2 also helps defend the queen side as well. So I think rook h2 is actually a very, very useful move. I'm going to turn on the engine to actually see what the engine said was the best move. Honestly, maybe knight h3 is still the best move, or maybe just taking. I'm not sure. Wow. Yeah. Bishop takes, king takes, and knight h3. Or knight h3 immediately. Giving up this is also very good. Okay. Yeah, I could have sacrificed a pawn. I'm just going to see what the engine says about this. Probably queen d2, queen e3. Queen g2 is also very good, but queen f4 and queen e3 are also even stronger for some reason. Because the bishop here. Okay, interesting. Yeah, and the point is now your rooks are in the game, and black's king is still naked. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I did not calculate that. I'm turning off the engine now. I didn't calculate that, but that makes sense, though. That seems like a very good move. Just giving up the pawn. I didn't think it was necessary, and I thought rook h2 was still a very, very good move. I still think it's a good move, but maybe since it does waste time, the computer might give it an inaccuracy or something like that. But I think practically speaking, why give up this pawn when you don't need to, and complicate things? So I think rook h2 is very good. Now he plays knight g6 voluntarily. The thing is, like, if this knight wasn't here, this would just be checkmate. I was actually thinking about doing this move. Like, this is one of the moves I was thinking about because it forces knight g6, and then I could take if I want to. But the issue is, it's just my queen and bishop attacking. Like, I need more pieces attacking. So I wasn't in a rush to win this h5 pawn because I know I'm going to win it eventually anyways. And it's not about the h5 pawn. It's about checkmating the black king. So always remember priorities. Like, it's not about the pawns. It's about, especially in offside castling games, it's about checkmating. So I didn't try to do this because I thought knight g6 was a move he already wanted to play. And I didn't want to force him to play a move that he already wanted to play. So that's why I played rook h2. That's another reason why. But he does go knight g6 because, of course, he cannot move away because that would just be checkmate. So he voluntarily goes knight g6, and now I go knight h3 because now the knight cannot take on f3 anymore, and I can safely develop. And he goes bishop f6. So he's trying to maintain his dark squared bishop to avoid to just maintain this defender and make it harder for me to checkmate. And practically speaking, it actually did make me take a long time on my moves because I have to just calculate if this is still good and if I'm still winning, and like just this defender still being around made me think a lot more and was practically a very good decision. But I do play knight f4, and this position is so winning though that it doesn't really matter. But it did make me spend some time. Like I think on the last like 8 moves, not 8 moves, yeah, on bishop. Let's see, on rook h2 I spent 13 minutes, knight h3 I spent another 7 minutes, knight f4 I spent 13 minutes. So I spent 13 minutes on this move. It's been a few days since I've played this game, and I forget what I was thinking about. I think I was maybe considering rook g2, although rook g2 is very bad because it does lose a knight, and you do sacrifice it and get the piece back, but you're still down material. But honestly, this position is so winning that might still be winning. I'm not sure what else I was considering here. Yeah, I don't even know why I spent 13 minutes here. That's a long time. Oh, I remember why. Because I was trying to calculate. I was just making sure this is okay. Something like this. I still don't know why I spent 13 minutes here. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I was just dotting my I's and crossing my T's. Crossing my T's, yes. So, but I do play knight f4 eventually. And he does not take the pawn. Well, he can't take like that. and he shouldn't take like this. But he did just take my knight. And now he has one less defender around his king. And I can move this bishop and get both of these rooks in the game and try to checkmate him. And he plays c4. And that actually made me kind of like, maybe a little bit. I feel like in this game, the theme was I was respecting his attack a lot. I mean, I know this position is like much better for white, but then I was calculating. I was just like, wait, if I did end up going bishop h3. But I think I spent a while on bishop h3. Yeah, I spent another 15 minutes on bishop h3. So I went from 42 minutes to 28 minutes. So I still had tons of time. Well, not tons of time, but a decent amount of time. And I think the main thing I was calculating was b4. And I was like, if I take, then he takes. And if I check and he goes here, and if I try to double up, he has c3. And I was like, where's the checkmate? Like, how am I checkmating him? I'm not checkmating him. This is not good. Like, I was actually really, really concerned. Because suddenly black has all this counterplay. This pawn is pinned, and like he's getting in. So this is what I was mainly concerned about. And I was like, oh man, okay, but after b4, and I go here, and he goes here, and I go here. Like, this is bad. Because where's the mate? Where's the mate? I don't see it. And then but after the game, he said, actually, like, let's say, after the game, let's see, b4, after something like rook g1, for example, and king h8, he actually brought up this idea of bishop f8. I hope I would have seen this idea in the actual game, but maybe I wouldn't have, and maybe if he did play b4, I would be in real trouble. But I assume once I got to this position, I would hopefully see it. And the idea is that queen h6 is unstoppable. And that's just checkmate. So this was actually a really neat idea by him. But of course, if he goes bishop king h7, I was calculating a long time of like, okay, if I go check, I take, and he takes, and he takes, and then I go here, and then if he takes, and I sacrifice the rook and checkmate, things like that. I was thinking about things like that. So I think overall, I hopefully would have found the idea of bishop f8, but who knows? Maybe I wouldn't have, and I would go on to lose the game. But I think I would have. So that's why I spent such a long time, and I eventually played bishop h3 just because, like, I didn't see the idea of bishop f8, But I knew this had to still be winning because there's no way b4 just it's like equalizes for white or whatever. Like there's no, or for black I mean, like it has to still be winning for white. It still has to be like +5 or whatever. But I still doubted myself a little bit, and I thought for a long time on this move, but I was still sure it went well. But he doesn't do that. He doesn't go b4. He actually plays king h7. And I was like, whew, that's the final nail in the coffin, because I just go bishop g5. And I'm just simply winning. If he takes, I'm going to go check. Actually, no. Am I going to go check? If he takes, I probably take with the pawn. And I'm going to attack the king like crazy. Probably anything is winning. I could probably take with the queen too. This probably also works just fine as well. Everything probably works. But so he goes bishop g7, but it's kind of too little too late. I go queen takes f7, attacking the rook. The rook is hanging. And he goes rook h8. So now if I go check, he wins a tempo at the very least. I mean, it's still not a good position for him, but it is what it is. But instead of taking this pawn, I become a little bit patient, and I just play bishop takes e7. And now this g-file is open, and I'm going to checkmate him. He plays queen c7, and I play rook g2. And then he plays rook g8, and I play bishop f5 check, and he resigns. He didn't need to. He could have played... I could have... Wait, why did I say he didn't need to? Yes, he's going to get checkmated very soon. Actually, a better move than bishop f5 is probably queen g6. Because it forces the king back, and then I take, and then it's an immediate checkmate. It's beautiful how this dark squared bishop cuts off the queen's circulation of defense. Did I say that right? The queen's circulation of defense. The queen's defense of the king. Not that it would have mattered. Even if the queen could have gone here, it still would have been check here, and I win the queen, and then I'm going to win the rook too. But still, it's kind of beautiful how this bishop blocks off black's defense. And that was a game. So I think this game, like, it was once again a very fun attacking game against the Pirc. Like, I'm finding a lot of class players, like from like 1200 to like 1800, they play the Pirc, and it's just so much fun to attack. Like, you have to be so careful if you're playing the Pirc, and you really have to know your thing, in my opinion, because there's gonna be people like me that just know these attacking setups that are very, very easy. I would be very, very interested how the game would have progressed if he did this e6 idea in the opening. Like, let's say instead of rook e8, he went c6, and after f3, b5, h4, and maybe like e6 now. That would have been great. I would have been very interested in it. And let's say I play h5, a5. Like, this would have been such an interesting game. And I don't know if I would have taken the pawn immediately or not. But let's say I did, and he went like rook. And if I went here, like that, this would have been cool. This would have been very, very cool. Anyways, actually, I want to check the evaluation of this position. Actually, I'll turn on the analysis here, and yeah, still better for white, of course. Plus 1.73, and you just need to play slowly, like knight h3, and rook e7 is wild. I don't even know what it does. I don't even know what that did. Okay, but white needs to play in the center as well. Oh, yes, there's this pin. There's this pin as well. Wow. Very interesting. Very, very cool position, actually. Anyways. But yeah, you have to really know what you're doing with the Pirc, or else you're just going to get wiped off the board. And so luckily in this game, I did end up, luckily for my sake, I guess, I ended up winning this game. And yeah, it was a good attacking game. And like I said, my opponent, Grady or Grady, I actually don't know. I assume it's Grady. Super nice guy. And yeah, I won my first game in the U.S. Amateur Team East tournament. And yeah, I'm gonna hit the game review. And actually, I'll give my reaction to the game review. Usually, I go through a different slide to do it, but I actually will give my reaction. Let's see. Yep, this makes all sense. Yeah, rook e8, not a good move. Um, and I play h4. Yeah, knight ce2, inaccurate because of g4, just throwing everything, which makes sense. And oh my goodness, wow, that just glitched. Game review. Why do you do this? Okay, here we go. He plays queen c7, which yes, also not a good move. Actually, I best move with b5. No, queen b6. Interesting. Don't really know what that does. Okay, same idea. Oh, I see. It literally does the same thing as c6 or queen c7 preparing c5, but it's already on the square it wants to go. Oh, and I can't even take. Wow, e5? And if I go here, oh, of course, yeah. If I go c3, for example, knight c6 and black is better. Oh, wait, I wasn't even thinking about taking. I was playing d5. But d5 would be losing because knight takes e4. Wow, queen b6 is actually extremely tricky. Holy moly, if he played queen b6, this would be a very, very tricky thing. And I assume after bishop h6, he go bishop h8. But now I play g4? Oh, because now I have c5. I'm already attacking his king. Knight takes, knight f4. And what if he takes like this? Now c3 comes with tempo. Ah. Wow, definitely very sharp position. Very sharp position. Wow, this is actually really awesome. This is actually really, really awesome. That's amazing. Wow, queen b6, very, very tricky. Oh, wow, I would have been very interested to see what would have happened in the game if he did that. Because after c5, you can't push and you can't take. Else black's better. Anyways. But, okay, I play knight c2, queen c7, g4. d5 was the best move. Awesome. And then I play c3. Awesome. This all makes sense. Knight g3. Awesome. And we just take. And here, I'm probably playing inaccuracy. Oh, no. That's bishop h6. Yeah. Rook h2 and inaccuracy. Knight h3 is wanted. We just give up this pawn to attack more quickly. But rook h2, still a good move. The position is still +2 for white. And he plays knight g6. That makes sense. The computer wanted bishop f6 instead of knight g6 to keep the bishops on. Because I guess after knight g6, I could have taken his bishop. Although apparently the best move is rook g2 in this position. Still allowing him to take. So I'm not sure why bishop f6 was the best move. Probably doesn't matter that much. Yeah, rook g2. Interesting. I like my move. An inaccuracy. And then I play knight f4. Very simple. And yeah, he should have played b4. Okay. Instead of knight takes. But this position is still +3 for white, so it doesn't really matter. And I play bishop h3. Makes sense. Beautiful. And yep, I'm just taking everything, and I'm going to checkmate him. Awesome. Yeah, I was queen. Wait a second. Oh yeah, checkmate in 3. Yep. Okay, I thought it was saying in this position it was checkmate in 2. I was like, this is not checkmate in 2. Oh, but after this move, it would have been checkmate in 2, of course. All right. Cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, I think this was a pretty, like I said, a fun attacking game, and I'm very happy my tournament started off really well. This is what happens in the U.S. Amateur Team East. You play someone like 500 points below you, then you play someone 500 points above you, and then you just like bounce around a lot. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.